What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and I am joined by Thomas Wilson, the co-director at Beanox.
Yeah, co-director.
Thank you for having the interview and joining us today. So I just got a few questions for CTR, and I hope you can answer.
Of course.
So let's get into it. Was the game built from the ground up, or were you able to get the original build from Naughty Dog?
Actually, it was built from the ground up. It was partly built from the same technology that was developed for Insane Trilogy, but we managed to extract the data from the disk. But everything that was built around, like the track layout and the kart racing mechanic, was built from scratch.
So was it similar to like how Spyro was done, and not quite like the Insane Trilogy, where the Insane was kind of built from off the original engine, or was it more like Reignited?
It was pretty much just like building it from the ground up using alchemy. So you know, it's somewhat a little bit like the Insane Trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, in that sense.
Okay. What was your reaction when you found out that you and your team was making CTR?
That was pretty much it. I mean, a little story there. You know, I've been in the industry for 20 years, and I actually started when I was playing Crash Team Racing, and that was my favorite game at the time when I started. I was 24, so it brings me back a while ago. But really, when we started talking about this opportunity, I was just pinching myself, really, to be honest.
It was kind of like a callback to the start of when you were...
Totally, it was like coming back full circle. I mean, I was in love with the first game, and so here we had the opportunity to bring this back to the table, you know, please nostalgic fans, but also make it a brand new discovery for newcomers.
Are assets from the Insane Trilogy being reused along with new assets, or all assets being rebuilt from the ground up?
Actually, some of it has been reused, especially if you consider characters. For instance, some characters have been already modeled, but for the most part, everything has been sort of reauthored and built from the ground up. So karts, tracks, characters that were not part of the the original Insane Trilogy. So yes, basically some of it was reused, but most of it was built from scratch.
Will there be a music toggle similar to the Reignited Trilogy to switch between? Yes?
There will.
There will be.
Yes, so there will be. It's actually in there. You can switch between the original music or the remastered music. And the good news is, you know, we've consulted with the original music composers because it was really important for us. You know, music, sound for the community is really important in the Crash franchise.
Right.
So we made sure to consult with them so that when we were remastering the soundtrack, you know, we were sort of paying tribute to the original music, and they gave us their thumbs up. So, but you can toggle between the old music or the remastered music anytime you want.
Nice. A lot of people are going to be glad to hear that.
We knew it was important.
One aspect that die-hard fans love about Crash Team Racing is the feel and the racing mechanics that brings a unique feel to CTR.
Of course.
What steps have been made to make sure that those mechanics have been made as close as possible to the original?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of things. First, of course, we boot up our PS1s and start playing the original game. You know, sort of like discovering what made it so great, what we fell in love in the first place. And then it's a matter of just having the game on one side and having our game running in engine on the other. And then it's a combination of just like a lot of observation and work with the engineers and the designers to start building that. So of course we prototype it first, and then we test it out. You know, we play the original game, drop the controller, grab another controller, start playing it again. You know what? There's something missing here. You know, whether it's braking, turning, drifting. You know, because the drifting mechanic is very important to this game. So it's a matter of just testing that out a lot, and then you know, a lot of internal play testing with you know, people in house to see if this feels right compared to the original game, and then user testing, making sure that we put it in front of people who would try the original game and try the new one. Just to understand if, you know, did we do it right? Are we actually on par? Because, you know, one of our number one pillars, development pillars, was authenticity. And we absolutely wanted to make sure that the way it feels when you're putting the controller in your hands brings back the muscle memory from the original game.
Will there be content from other Crash racing games, like karts and skins, or...?
Well, at the moment, at PAX, we're super excited to be announcing that there's going to be CNK content in there. So you're talking about 13 tracks from Crash Nitro Kart, all battle arenas, all battle modes, including the karts from CNK as well.
Right.
So, I mean, for us, really, that's the focus now. And, you know, we always want to give more to fans.
Right.
So I guess you can expect some, you know, things in the future.
What was the reaction to the studio when fans were overjoyed to see the game coming back? Like at the Game Awards when it was finally announced publicly, and you saw all the reactions and everything. What was the studio's reaction? How was everyone feeling?
Look, I mean, you know, we're in love with this game. So we spent a great deal of time, a lot of energy and passion into making this game happen, making it the right remaster that it deserves to be. So when comes, a time when you announce it to the world, I mean, we've been waiting for this for a very long time. So it's joy, anticipation, just like seeing the crowd react when they see the trailer for the first time, looking at people putting videos of people reacting when they see it, crying over it. I mean, it's just, we do it for people, right? We do it for fans. So, I mean, it's really fun to watch their reaction. I mean, we feel privileged.
So, so much work has been done to some of the tracks, like Cocoa Park, Polar Pass.
Yes.
Is there a level that you can't wait for fans to see without giving too much details on it? So one level specifically that stands out.
I was going to say Cocoa Park, but you mentioned it. No, but I mean, seriously, I could talk about all the levels, but it's very important. You're bringing up a good point. Character. As much as it is a racing game, and you're racing with carts, it's all about character. It's not just. And we believe that we needed to inject as much personality as possible into the characters themselves. So, we have fully rigged characters now that can be animated. So when they jump, when they win, when they lose, but the tracks themselves, like every level, are also part of the character that makes Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel so unique.
Right.
And so one thing that we had going for us was humor and storytelling. So every level that we remastered, we always asked ourselves the question, what's the story here? What can we do with it? So I'll pick one because I could pick a lot, pretty much every level. But one that I like very much is Dragon Mines. So it was called Dragon Mines. But at the time, I was kind of wondering, why is it called Dragon Mines? There are no dragons. And, of course, you had Komodo Joe's track. It was Komodo Joe's track. But then what was the correlation? I wasn't sure. But what we did was like, well, what if, the mining community of this place dug so deep that they stumbled upon the dragon's treasure? So what we did is we dressed up the entire cave, filled with gold and gems, and we put a dragon on the side, sort of like old dragon coughing, watching the racers racing by. So that's the kind of thing that we do because we think that it brings a lot of personality into it. And at the same time, we have like every miner that you see there, like sort of like digging and mining. We have all the animations matching the music. So it totally feels like, they're sort of like on par with the song as you're racing. So, these are the sort of details that we applied to pretty much every track. Like a good example in Polar Pass, we added a polar bear DJ. So, as you're racing around the corner, you have this polar bear sort of mixing the song, and you get into a techno vibe for a while as you're listening to the music, and you see penguins dancing. That's the kind of stuff we do everywhere we can.
Right.
So, yeah, expect that a lot from pretty much every track in the game.
So, recently, as you just said in the interview, we found out that there's a large amount of content from Crash Nitro Kart. Yes. Will be in the game. When was this decided? Was it right at the start of production, or was it partway, like, it would be nice, like someone came up and said, it'd be nice, and...
I would say it was very early on. The idea was, what can we, there's a reason why the game is called Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. Yes. It was a way of injecting as much content as possible.
Right.
So, very earlier on, we started discussing about the idea of, complementing all this great content from Crash Team Racing with the Crash Nitro Kart content.
Right.
We quickly established that we needed to make some, adjustments so that the Crash Nitro Kart tracks would be adapted to Crash Team Racing gameplay.
Okay.
But it was established very earlier on that we needed to push as much content as we could. When you think about it, the game will launch and it's 31 tracks you get. Right there.
Have the tracks been adjusted for CTR as in length, width, and etc., or is it one-to-one?
It's actually been readjusted. So multiple things have been happening because it's a different game. It had some similarities, but in terms of like the scale of the tracks, the speed at which you were going, the drifting mechanic, there were differences. And so what we did was really we adapted the length, the width, also some portions of the track where there used to be anti-gravity. These are the elements that we removed because we wanted to really have the tracks be kind of part of a cohesive package with the original CTR tracks.
Right.
So yes, some of these tracks undergone a little bit of surgery, but at the same time, it was an opportunity also to reimagine what each of these tracks were. So Electron Avenue was our way of, of saying, you know what, let's make it sort of a retro neon sci-fi track, right? Which will bring a totally unique look. We also presented Clockwork Wampa. That used to be just a clock tower level. We decided let's transform that into sort of a Wampa juice factory, sort. And then all of a sudden the gears are turning or pumping the juice, and you see like Wampa barrels. So these are the things that we're adding to every CMK track as well.
Does this mean that we're going to see, this is a fan favorite that's in my comment sections that came post Naughty Dog, are we going to see Crunch Bandicoot?
I can confirm that Crunch Bandicoot will be available.
Who's your favorite racer? Final question, who's your favorite racer?
Yeah, I've been asked that question a lot. To be honest, I have a personal favorite, Nitrous Oxide. When you think about it, now he's playable.
Right.
And it's good being bad. So it's pretty cool to be racing with this guy because I like his personality, and we push that a lot in the game. So having the ability to race with him, but also race with his other craft, is pretty sweet.
That's really awesome, Thomas. Thank you so much for answering questions.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.